So I just recently got back from the drive-in. Got a hoodie on tonight because it's actually kind of chilly here, and I wanted to make a video. And I originally had planned to do like my wear video tonight, and I thought I'm going to keep the wear video a little bit closer to Halloween time because I really do enjoy wear films, and I kind of want to like elaborate on it a bit more. And I want to dive a bit more into the watching of those before I actually do the video. My hair's a mess tonight, so I apologize for that. But my hair is kind of has a mind of its own, and it's a bit of a mess anyway. So at least a bit of hair that I got left. Anyway, tonight I went to the drive-in, and it's my first time going to the drive-in this year. A couple times I planned to go earlier, and there, clear my voice, get that out of the way. Hopefully I don't have to go grab a drink. But I planned to go to the drive-in earlier on this year, and I just didn't get there. I didn't go. I was working, stuff like that. So last night there was an announcement at my local drive-in here at Cape Breton Drive-in. So if you're in the Sydney area of Nova Scotia, I do recommend checking out the drive-in. It's a great experience, and I always have a blast when I'm there. So I look at the thing, and I'm going to work. It's about an hour or two before I got to go to work, and it's like coming, you know, Cape Breton Drive-in, one night only, Friday night, Friday the 13th, original 1980, and Texas Chainsaw Massacre. So my heart literally drops because here I am, movies that I've dreamt of seeing. Now, Texas Chainsaw Massacre was my very first driving experience, 1974. I was very, very young. And that was my first and last driving experience for many years until I actually moved here. The see Friday the 13th in a drive-in, like one of the seminal movies for me, one of the big slasher films for me, was a huge deal. And to see Texas Chainsaw as an adult in the theater after like many years of watching horror would have been like a dream come true. Unfortunately, it was only playing for Friday night, and that night I had to work. So I went to work, and I was a bit bummed. And I get there, and there's some guys around, and like, you know, we can call in like call a threat or something like that. And I'm like, no, we don't do anything like that. I said, you know, if it was meant to be, I would have been there. It's okay. I got a lot of movies in my house. I can watch Texas Chainsaw. I can watch Friday 13th on my big screen anyway. It would have been great to have that, like the driving experience. But you know, it's coming closer to Christmas time. We're getting Halloween, so any shifts that I'm getting, I'm definitely working them. So I get up this morning, and this is my one day off. Saturday's my day off, but that's why you see me do like a lot of Saturday oriented videos, is because basically Saturday's my day off. And my better half, she looks at me and she smiles, and we're sitting down in a chair, and she turns her iPad towards me, and it's on the Cape Breton Drive-In Facebook page. And it says, extended for one night only, Friday the 13th, and Texas Chainsaw Massacre. And my better half, she's sick, she's not feeling well, so she can't go with me. But luckily, my cousin Raj is there. And to go like into a little bit deeper with this, Raj is not really like a big horror fan. He can watch he watches some of the older stuff, but he's not he's not a modern day horror fan, especially. But when we were kids, when we were growing up, I would always be the guy that will kind of like drag Raj into watching like all these horror films, like whether it was like his first experience with Evil Dead. I remember, I think it was grade 8 or grade 9 during the summertime. We actually said, you know, come over. We're gonna marathon some movies. We're gonna watch some. We got some chips. We'll have some tea. I drank tea in high school, and this is probably how the whole tea thing started. So me and my cousin Raj, we grew up together, kind of like brothers. So he comes over and he says, so what are we watching? And I'm like, we're watching Friday the 13th. And he's like, I'm probably going then. But he stayed. And we decided to watch. I think we watched the first 4, right? Like, because at that point, I think it was up to Corey Feldman. I don't think that the 5th one had come out yet. So we got the first 4. And through the wonders of magic VHS. And we're sitting down and we're watching them. And we're young. And, you know, we're teens, and we're like pausing it every once in a while when really creepy stuff is happening, and like the music's swelling. You're getting the Harry Manfredini stuff, and getting all the makeup effects and that. And we're like pausing. We're going getting some tea, and we're like, okay, feeling intense right now. You know, I'm a younger horror fan right now, and we pause. We go get tea. Maybe that's where my tea addiction started. When I started watching horror movies, and it's like, you know, this horror movie is pretty good, but I'm just gonna get some tea. I'll be yeah, I'll come back to that. I'm gonna process that scene first. So that was the thing. So for my cousin to be out here at the time, that Friday the 13th, the original, something that definitely we bonded on when we watched the marathon, was kind of a cool thing. So we get to the drive-in. We are like the second person there. We are there like, hey kitty, we're there like an hour early. And I go, if you're on my Instagram or my Twitter, then you'll see me, you know, I took a picture of the billboard with the, you know, with the names on it, with myself standing in front of it. And I was super stoked. Anybody that's on my Facebook or my Twitter or my Instagram, they know how stoked I am. But well, anybody who knows me knows that I love this stuff, especially the slasher genre. And I've got a movie to talk about actually in a couple minutes. So we get there, and it's like $13, ironically, to go see the movie, to go see it, like to go for two people to go in. Well, actually, whoever is in your car. So if you go to a drive-in, normally like we're at our drive-in, it's like $20, and you go in. Hey, Rich, how's it going? I'm giving my driving experience, and then I'm going to talk about the franchises, both Friday the 13th and Texas Chainsaw Massacre. So hopefully you like those, because I do want to talk about those, especially with Texas Chainsaw Massacre: The Next Generation coming out soon on Blu-ray from Scream Factory. So basically, we get there, and we're waiting for like an hour. I go get my picture taken with the with the sign with Friday 13th, Texas Chainsaw Massacre on there. We get in there, and they're like, and I notice that they're doing like a test of the films before they do. So I see the Friday the 13th, like the logo come up, and then I see the Texas Chainsaw, like they show, like there's a picture comes on screen, and the picture isn't Gunnar Hansen. It's Andrew Bronowski. So I think I totally know I got the name wrong, by the way. I pronounced it totally wrong. But you there that can't pronounce it better than me, feel free to do so in place of me. So we get there, and we're watching the first film, and it's a blast. It's a fantastic thing to watch at a drive-in. We're like, we got our popcorn, we got our drinks, we're sitting back, we're watching like Friday 13th, and it just works so well. It aged really well. Super enjoyed it. We just had a ball. And then the second movie, I go grab some fries before the second movie comes on, and I come back, and the second movie hits, and what I see, it's the remake of Texas Chainsaw Massacre. So it's the Marcus Nispel with the one with Jessica Biel, who, my God, I have forgotten how insanely gorgeous Jessica Biel is. Holy crap. Put at the top of my Google Doc list of movie actresses that this guy definitely has and had a crush on. So the movie itself, I got like pluses and minuses when it comes to the remake. I do really like Daniel Pearl's cinematography. It's a blast. I think Jessica Biel did great. And I really, really love the kind of extended chase scene at the end. And so let's kind of talk about it. We'll get into that, and then we'll go into like some news that came out that it's kind of surprising, and that really kind of did surprise me. But the movie overall, so Texas Chainsaw Massacre, the remake, it's got its pluses and its minuses. Now, the biggest minus for me is that the original family in the original 1974 Texas Chainsaw Massacre, which to me is like nearly like a perfect horror film, in my opinion, the family, the iconic family, isn't there in the remake. It's not so much about that, and the characters overtly make, especially Jessica Biel's character, really dumb decisions, and it seems like that this movie, like a lot of horror movies, unfortunately, hinges on the fact that they have to make these incredibly inane decisions, and they do. Now, I had a blast watching the movie. It's, you know, it's nowhere near the original Texas Chainsaw, that's for sure. But cinematography is fantastic. The last 15 or 20 minutes of it is just great. And Eric Balfour, too small of a role in the film. And there's a couple twists in it that I really did like. And of course, like Arlie Ermy. Did I like Leatherface? There's the thing, Rich. I think there were scenes when I'm like, he's okay. He's not Gunner. I'm gonna put that. He's not Gunner, and Gunner does a great job in Leatherface. I mean, Leatherface is an iconic character, but I really don't think that Leatherface. I mean, like, he was played like as a really kind of like a different Leatherface than I'm used to, and I didn't see him. There's only like really one scene where you get kind of like the pathos for Leatherface. That because Leatherface isn't this big monster with the skin disease and that's just waving a chainsaw all around. There's more to Leatherface than that, and it seemed like for the most part, aside from like about one scene, that he played it kind of one note, and like he did a good job for what he had to do. And I do think that a lot of it comes down with Nespel's direction of like they decided to make Leatherface the monster. They really did, and they didn't go a lot further into it than that. They threw in like the mom and talked about, you know, when he was young he got teased and stuff like that, but you kind of didn't need that in the original Texas Chainsaw Massacre. You know, like jack about Leatherface. It's just through the actions and the movements and the way that Gunnar Hansen portrayed the character. I think that's very much so in part 2 as well. I think that Leatherface gets that there's a lot of emoting inside that mask, and we don't need to have him like scarred or creepy. It's just we know he's up here. He's mentally stunted, and he's around a family that is completely twisted, and because of that, the guy never has a chance. We get to throughout the film, sort of like part 3 is not, again, I like Leatherface in part 3, but probably this is one of the least, you know, like performances for Leatherface that, in my opinion. And I think over the years, the stories that I've heard about the actor that played Leatherface may have slightly soured me on his portrayal as well. To be completely honest with you, it made me more biased towards it because I've heard really horrible things about the actor at conventions and the way that he treats people. Now, here's the thing. I used to hear horrible things about Tom Savini, and I met him, and I didn't like, oh, I got like a kind of I got a hair in my tongue, and I didn't like and I loved, like, Tom Savini was an awesome guy. So maybe if I actually met this guy and spoke to him, maybe that I would have that experience. But right now, I'm just going off secondhand experience, so I do not know if this guy's like a nice guy or not. But the movie, the Leatherface in this one, it was okay. It Jessica Biel, I thought was really good. She makes a great final girl. I thought that the other girl, I can't remember her name, the other actress, does an incredible scream at the beginning of the film. The Hitchhiker is missed. Definitely the Hitchhiker is missed. I know we get like the Hitchhiker sort of. Get a twist on that, but you got to have someone like that. You got to have like an Ed O'Neill, you got to have Ed Neal, or you got to have like a Bill Moseley. That was severely missed, and I don't know if Ermy is supposed to be that character or not, but I took him more as Sato's character, but you know, like Cook, but there was stuff missing. We'll play to that. There was stuff missing, but overall, we had a blast. We sat down, and for like about 3.5 hours, however long those two movies are together, we just sat in the drive-in, had a wonderful time, and I recommend it. So if you've got a drive-in near you, definitely push your drive-in to show these older, like, classic horror films if you can, and just go and support your drive-in so that it actually stays there, because drive-ins, you know, like a lot of theaters and stuff like that struggle, especially drive-ins and stuff like that, because it's more usually it's more of an independent venture. If you go see a Cineplex or like something like that, you're going to like something that's actually, you know, that has a kind of a company thing behind it. It's always good to support and go to the theater. But if you're lucky enough to have a drive-in in your area, I do recommend that you check it out, because we had a blast. We saw a couple of trailers there. You've never been to a drive-in? If you ever get the chance, Rich, I really do recommend it. Let me put it to you this way. When you go to a movie, and this is one of the things that I find that steers people away from the theater experience sometimes now, is that you get to a movie, you get your stuff, you go in there, you get in seats, they're not always comfortable, they're sometimes cramped. There could be people talking, someone kicking your seat. So like people like are up farther on their phones, you know, all that's going on. At a drive-in, you completely control the environment that you're in. You're in a car or SUV, truck, whatever you're in. You're in your space. That, you know, that closes up. You turn, basically the way it is though you turn on your radio to a certain frequency, and that's how the sound comes into your car through a drive-in. So you're not worried about like somebody kicking your seat or people talking loud like to you, or playing with their phones or doing anything else. If you're there with the people that you want to be with, you're not stuck with some stranger that you don't want to be with. You're watching the movie in this enclosed space. You can take your shoes off. You can have you can have nachos. You can do whatever you want. And it's just a super controlled, very comfortable environment. So, Rich, if you ever get the chance to go to a drive-in, I really do recommend it. It's a lot of fun. This is the first drive-in that my cousin has been to since he's been a kid. I mean like way under maybe about 5 or 6 years old. So this was like his first driving experience for a long time. And if you get the chance, go there. I recommend it. It's a blast. So before I get into anything else, last video that I did, I talked about movies that should get a Blu-ray release. And lo and behold, the day after I talk about movies that should get a Blu-ray release, one of the ones I mentioned was a little movie. It's over there. I should have brought it over, but I didn't. By the name of Shredder. So Shredder is a snowboarding slasher film, and she's kind of fun. Done later in the slasher era, so like when slashers were not so popular anymore, and never really got to find its audience. It's a good film. It's not a great film. It's, you know, cheesy slasher fun. And it's one that I've always wanted to see get a Blu-ray release. I just want to get all my slashers on Blu-ray down the road. So I made a video. I talked about Shredder, and lo and behold, the next day, Scorpion announces that Shredder. You seen Shredder a long time ago, Rich? So Shredder is getting a Blu-ray release from Scorpion, and I'm super stoked about that. I had no clue, and it's like, I should mention movies that need Blu-ray releases more often, because, okay, so I said Shredder should get a Blu-ray release. So Fade to Black, anytime anyone wants to announce that one, love to see that happen. The Keep, that's more unlikely, but still, I'd love to see a Blu-ray release to Keep. But yeah, I thought it was really cool that actually the day after I mentioned on here, talking to you guys about about Shredder, it actually was announced that it's getting a Blu-ray release, and Scorpion's putting it. I'm not sure how wide of a release it's going to be, but I'm hoping it's going to come out like something I'll be able to buy. Like, I hope I don't have to go to a Ronin Flicks or anything like that. I hope I can actually buy it at Amazon, or I'd love to see them like maybe partner with Kino and put it that way, because I know I'm going to get it that way. But I'm worried that Shredder is only going to get like a release through like through something like through Ronin or a Diabolique DVD, which I do like. It's just it costs me a lot to ship from those places. So, but here it is right here, Shredder. A much more elaborate cover than I showed you guys. And let's see. So they do say it's going to be a Ronin exclusive. Now, I don't think Ronin ships to Canada, if they do, I think is extremely expensive. That's going to make it really hard for me when it comes to the movie Shredder, which is a shame. I really did want this movie. There's 1,500 copies of it. It's kind of a slip sleeve, a mini poster. Director is going to be involved. The specs. I find the Scorpion releasing. It's weird. Scorpion releasing and Code Red. They're brothers. Like legitimately, like they're brothers. eBay will have it for sure, but eBay will have it expensive, Rich, and I can't afford eBay prices. Especially right now, it's like as it comes closer upon like Halloween and Christmas, getting my money like situated. I got to be very careful. I had money put aside for the new 4K release of Halloween that's coming out on I think on Tuesday here in Canada, but. And I did. I like that. I put it aside. I had it aside for about 3 weeks now. I had like that release, and if I had a little bit left over, I'd probably grab like something small. Now, tonight, the drive-in happened, and I had to think, okay, I can buy the Halloween 4K. Fantastic. But I do have the Halloween, the big set, right? The Blu-ray set. I don't know if I'm going to get the chance to go see Friday the 13th in a drive-in again, the original. So I took my money that I had squirreled away for Halloween 4K, and gladly and without a second thought, decided that I was going to take that and go to the drive-in and wait on Halloween. So that was my decision when it came to that. So it's like, right now as it gets closer to Christmas, buying and deciding what I'm going to buy is a series of checks and balances. But yeah, but it's nice that it's coming out, and I wish I'd get it. But Shredder is going to have like the first 1,500. It's got a limited edition slip and all the stuff in it. Ronin Flicks is putting it out. Definitely, it's worth checking out. It's a fun little film. Like I was saying before, Scorpion and Code Red, they're like two companies that usually Scorpion's a little bit more easier to get than Code Red is in North, like here in Canada, and that's usually because, well, Scorpion works a lot with Kino, and Scorpion puts out, they're a little bit more friendly when it comes to putting out stuff than the other brother tends to be. And that's like, that's the way I find it anyway. So I thought tonight, with me being stoked over watching the films, we'd actually talk a little bit about the films. And I thought we'd start with one of my favorite franchises of all time, and try to contact them and let them know you would review it on here. I've thought about that, and I've never gotten, I'll be honest, Rich, I've never ever gotten like a review copy of anything. I'm not good at like approaching for that type of stuff. Usually I find that a lot of people that do reviews or get review copies, they'll have a higher subscriber count than me. And if they don't, then they're usually attached to a website where they write reviews at as well. Now, not everybody. Some people just, they look into it, or they schmooze with the right people. And I guess I'm not much of a smoozer when it comes to that. Actually, I'm more on here with you guys. And everything that I get in my collection is either something that I bought myself or has come from a viewer. And I've been very blessed and very lucky that way. So I don't know. Hey Ken, how's it going? I just got back from the drive-in. So it's like, I'm not one of the insiders when it comes to that. And something used to bother me, because I'd see some people that were, and I wondered, man, I'd like to be there. Man, I'd like to be, getting the review copies and getting movies sent from different companies. And I'd see like people get stuff and stuff that they really didn't even like and all that. But then I was like, I don't know. Would love to, but it's never happened. Mill Creek's never contacted me. I've never had any companies really contact me. But Was a drive-in triple feature in 35. It was a double feature, and no, it wasn't 35 millimeter, but it was a blast. It's like more of modern, well, not really modern, but like drive-in. It was fun. It wasn't the original Texas Chainsaw Massacre. They actually showed the Michael Bay one, but it looked really, really like it was crisp. Like when I'm watching Friday the 13th, it's definitely worth a try. Like I definitely like I'm gonna try to like I did try like I tried once to contact a couple different companies, and I felt so awkward. And I had to, and I looked at like the messages that I was sending, that I was going to be sending out, and I just couldn't I couldn't place it right, I guess. I think if I had like a website or something that they could go by, but, and this was like much, even before this, where I think with the kind of with the live kind of podcast type videos that I do right now, I think I'm starting to kind of carve my niche, like my small little niche of what I like. I think Dracula 1972 is owned by Warner Bros. In the UK, so probably no extras will be on that one. I don't think there's gonna be extras on either one of them. It's a Warner Archive release, and Warner Archives really rarely have like any extras on it at all. I think my copy of The Hunger had a commentary, and I think that when they put out, hey kitty, when they put out the release for Are You Afraid of the Dark, that had Are You Afraid of the Dark, right? That had a commentary as well. It probably had like Kim Darby on there, kind of something like that. But I kind of expect this one to have like kind of be pretty bare bones, and a UK release of it is probably going to be the same thing. It's probably going to be like a fairly bare bones release, but at least it's a Blu-ray release of the films. And Satanic Rites, I love Dracula AD 72 a lot more than I like Satanic Rites, but Satanic Rites has gotten the crappy end of the stick in a lot of cases, and it'd be nice to see a good edition of it finally. Much like when Severin put out Kathy's Curse, something that we'd seen like crappy editions of all over the place. It'll be fantastic to see like a really good edition of that coming out. And again, I just mentioned on here like Shredder is coming out on Blu-ray. So apparently I have the gift of foretelling the future when it comes to stuff like this. Tonight we are talking about franchises, and we're talking about two in particular. We are going to be talking about Friday the 13th, and we're going to be talking about Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Upcoming in the Scream Factory catalog is Texas Chainsaw Massacre: The Next Generation, a film that's had, to be like generous, mixed reviews, and a heck of a history behind it, with certain big actors or big actors' agents trying to make sure that the movie didn't see the light of day, and if it did, it would get completely cut down. And I'm not even sure, even to this day, if we've even seen a complete copy of Texas Chainsaw Massacre: The Next Generation. I know that there's an unrated copy that I have here that I got like from Lionsgate. About the Lionsgate edition here in Canada, because we in Canada got the unrated copy before they did in the US. Much like Ginger Snaps, we got like an unrated copy of Ginger Snaps with like all kinds of features. And back when it happened, back when Texas Chainsaw Next Generation came out, back when the Ginger Snaps, the edition here in Canada came out, had a lot of my US friends call me to get them copies of the film at the time, which at the time I could find out I did. Also, the Apollo to Smallville came out here too, and I had to grab that. But anyway, so Texas Chainsaw Massacre is probably, it's one of my favorite films. It's definitely up there when it comes to my favorite horror films of all time. And it's one that pretty much like hits it home on like pretty much every level for me. There's not, I don't think, a spot where I think Texas Chainsaw, the original, like misses. The family is cast extremely well. Some people would say like the character of Franklin would be like the big like, oh my god point, like this character is so annoying. But the actor did such a good job of playing that role. Apparently so much so that he actually kind of like annoyed the other actors around that were in the film. But his character plays an important part in Texas Chainsaw Massacre, and as annoying as his character is, it's a needed character, and it brings up like him in the wheelchair. It brings for me one of the scariest parts, one of the biggest things that I remember that kept me awake at night when I was younger. There's a sequence in Texas Chainsaw Massacre where Marilyn Burns, and she's there, she has Franklin, and all of a sudden, it seems like out of nowhere, out of the tall grass, whatever, up jumps Leatherface, and it terrified me as a kid. Hey, Cubic Glover, how's it going? We are talking Texas Chainsaw Massacre because I just came back from seeing movies in the drive-in. It terrified me, and I didn't sleep. I didn't sleep for days. I mean, every time I'd see like a picture of like Gunnar Hansen, you can see right behind me right there as Leatherface. I was scared. I would go into like into the things I'd see, like the poster and and the VHS cover. Terrified me. Of course, years later, I got to meet Gunnar Hansen. He's like a teddy bear of a man. He was, rest in peace, Gunnar. He's amazingly sweet, very well spoken, like very, very, very nice guy, and lucky to have gotten to meet the guy when he was in Montreal. It was an honor, and it helped me. See him. Yeah, it freaked me out. It's one of the scariest scenes for me. Actually, probably is the scene that stands out. Like a lot of people will talk about like you get frustrated with actors dissociate themselves from the early film. Sometimes, I mean, like Pamela Springsteen, McConaughey, Zellweger. Do I? Yes, I do. But the thing is that I don't know how disassociated McConaughey and like Zellweger are. I know it's been said that they disassociate themselves from the film. It's also been said that their agents did it as well. Kevin Bacon, for years, he didn't really talk about like Friday the 13th a lot. The guy had made Tremors. I'm sorry, but Friday the 13th definitely up there with like, Tremors is a fantastic creature flick, but Friday the 13th is a really, really good, like solid, slasher film. It's like one of the granddaddies of them. People talk about Halloween, and Halloween's fantastic. Black Christmas is the one for me that started it all. I don't think Psycho is the first slasher film. I think Psycho was a really good film, and it's a slasher film in the way, but it's not a slasher film in the way we would come to know what at the time would be the golden age of the slasher films, which would be the 1980s. But yeah, but the thing is that at the end of the day, we put a lot into it. Now, some of them come back and embrace it a bit more. Jamie Lee Curtis was a different case. Jamie Lee Curtis with Halloween, here's a girl that came in. She definitely she did the Scream Queen thing. She paid her dues, and she moved on. She went forward. It was never so much the case of like, hey, Murdersville, how's it going? James Cameron and Piranha 2. James Cameron didn't do a lot of Piranha 2, Rich, to be honest with you. I don't think I think he walked out on that one actually fairly early. Scott's best films. I'm also for cinema. See, for me, I'm got Cubic Clever. I don't think Black Christmas is a pretty good film. I consider Black Christmas to be like one of the great films, and not just horror wise. I mean, yeah, he walked out, as far as I know, he walked out fairly early on, and like somebody else did like a lot of that. That happened a lot on Corman Productions, actually. Kind of like Bava would do like a lot of Ricardo Fredi's work when he would like walk out of productions. But for me, Black Christmas I consider Black Christmas to be like one of the near perfect films. It keeps that dread that Halloween has, like keeping it mysterious, keeping the boogeyman type of thing there. Black Christmas did it first. It did it extremely well. The nihilistic aspect, the ending that you would see in movies like House on Sorority Row and The Dorm to Drip Blood was perfected with Black Christmas. The camera work, the style of camera work, the very Jalowitz style of camera work that's done in Black Christmas. The fact that he had such fantastic actors in there, and as a Canadian, even though Bob Clark is an American director, he's filming this in Canada, and he has such a great sense of Canadiana that it really permeates throughout the entirety of the film Black Christmas. So as much as I love the movie Psycho, and I think that it's one of Hitchcock's fantastic films. It's not his best film by any means in mine. Like people say Psycho, people say Vertigo. For me, Hitchcock's best film, his most personal film, and the film that works on so many levels is Shadow of a Doubt. That's my favorite. That's everybody has their own favorite, but that is my favorite Hitchcock film, and it's Hitchcock's favorite Hitchcock film. I didn't find that out 2 years later actually, but it's his favorite as well. But Black Christmas is just one of those movies, the original, and that just it works on so many levels. Yeah, Roger if he stayed mainly with horror. See, and that's the thing. Yeah, he did Black Christmas. Yeah, Death Dream. Produced Range. I think that one was Alan Ormsby, right? Black Christmas a lot. Did it? Well, you did say it was okay. That's kind of what I got into there. So, because your second, Vertigo is your favorite. A lot of people have Vertigo as their favorite, and I think for me, my Pollyanna side really got bothered by the ending of Vertigo when I was younger. I didn't like it. I didn't like the ending of it. I loved the shots. I loved the camera. I loved the performances in Vertigo, but I did not love the ending. I know that's kind of where it had to go. It's a state of obsession. But I actually liked, and this is going to seem like sacrilege, coming from a cinephile, but I'm going to be completely honest with you. I'm a huge Brian De Palma fan. Carlos, you're not too late. Like, you come to 36 minutes in. I just got back from the drive-in not too long ago, and we're talking. I was talking about the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, and I will get back to that. But I'm actually doing a side road into Hitchcock for a minute. And Brian De Palma, I actually liked Brian De Palma's Obsession. Don't like hate me for this. I liked it better than I like Vertigo. For me, it's the same type of it's Brian De Palma. Obsession is De Palma's Vertigo. It is. And that's the thing. I love the Shadow of a Doubt. It got me. I lived in a smaller town. I definitely knew people like the dad and the neighbor. It just, there's that small town and that black humor, that darkness, that and that the reality of the Uncle Charlie character. It just got inside me. Hey James, how's it going? How are you doing tonight? Welcome on here, and I hope you're doing okay. But where's that before? Oh yes, Texas Chainsaw Massacre, wasn't I? So the scene, the problem, Scarface. See, I like Untouchables. I love that, but I like the TV series even better. I like the new TV series. I like the actor in Obsession. That's Clint Richards, I think. Clint Robertson. I have no mind for names tonight. It's been a long but really enjoyable night. But yeah, I got to do like a De Palma retrospective on here, because anybody that's been watching my channel for any length of time know that I am like this huge De Palma geek, and he's definitely one of my favorite directors. De Palma and Argento, definitely just top some of my favorite directors of all time. And there's so many classic directors out there, but when it comes to kind of the suspense style, yeah. But I think the thing that brings De Palma doing an homage as opposed to say somebody else, Joe Blow, whoever, doing a homage, is that De Palma truly found a way to do homage to a film, particularly to a Hitchcock film. Shredder comes out. I'll find it for you actually. But De Palma made it truly his own. There are so many times that you're going to see. Did I see the De Palma documentary? I did actually. I got to rewatch it though. I shall find out for you, James. See if it says. It doesn't say yet. But they say it's coming out. Early Winter Chill's coming out. And the first 1,500 is going to have a slip sleeve and a mini poster. But yeah, the difference between somebody else ripping off, doing a homage, whatever, for Hitchcock and De Palma is that De Palma has a certain directing style that cements it truly as his own. Yes, Dress to Kill and movies like Psycho to carrying the whole sequence with dialogue and just it is. Get see Casualties of War. How's that? I liked it. Yeah, probably December for that. I'd say because I don't think it's going to be one of the October release, so not for Scorpion. I think it's going to be a little bit more coming out. Definitely getting the features now, but I do think and I do hope they're going to put it for like like a December release for this year, because it's a perfect winter release. It's a good like stocking stuffer, and apparently it's a Ronin exclusive. So I won't, unfortunately, I will not have the easiest time getting that one. But it's his favorite Vietnam movie. And yet he hasn't done his own Vietnam film yet, which he would like, so we can lift stuff from it and Italian films. I love Tarantino though. That's the thing. Like Tarantino's another guy that definitely takes things from other films. De Palma like loves Hitchcock. He makes his own version. It's like he makes his own versions of these films, but he does it his own way. Rear Window is a fantastic, amazing Hitchcock film. Body Double is an incredible Brian De Palma film. Not so much Slave the Cannibal God, that's Sergio Martino, but Grizzly is something that really does interest me. I'm a huge fan of that film. I think there's an actor in it that I really like, and his name, this is not a good day for names for me, but I really did like the movie Grizzly when I saw it, and I remember the poster. It had an amazing poster on it. The last time I saw Grizzly was probably on a VHS copy. I don't think I've ever had the DVD. But I think the dialogue's supposed to. That's the thing. Tarantino, it's a style that he uses. And Christopher George, thank you. And I'm a huge fan of Christopher George. Rest in peace, definitely. But he did like Grizzly's just it's so cool. I do recommend it. It's a fun film. I do like Christopher George. I love like that one. Shredder is a fun little film too. I definitely recommend like checking it out if you like slasher films for sure. And you know, there's not enough winter set slasher films. Season 2 of Slasher, of course, was set in the winter, and I really like that. Oh, you really? In your early teens? I wonder what the blasphemy is for. But yeah. See, James, much like me and James have a lot of the same tastes. Except I like some of the sleazier stuff that James won't watch, or that he doesn't like as much as me, and that's because I have weird tastes and a little bit out there. So a lot of times when like the Vinegar Syndrome stuff comes out, I'm like, yeah, I'm there. I'm all there for that. But no, De Palma does his own thing. Body Double is an amazing film, and I think Body Double is one of De Palma's most underrated films. I don't think it's a different thing, because when it comes to Scorpion Releasing is Grizzly Grizzly Scorpion Releasing. When it comes to homages or making their own type of thing, De Palma, he does that with Hitchcock, and that's kind of his style. It's not. He's heavily influenced. Tarantino is kind of like what I might be like. He's heavily influenced by so much of the different stuff that he's seen around him. Tarantino is, in my opinion, a master when it comes to like the way that he writes very crisp, very catchy dialogue. You don't always remember the shots from a Tarantino film, but you remember the lines from a Tarantino film, because Tarantino has an ear for writing. He has a real ear for writing, and I'll put it recently. Stephen King, it's like at his birthday, and happy birthday, Stephen King! You rock. There's not many De Palma films you like, really. Carlito's Way might be my favorite. Oh, you got to rewatch Body Double. It's got the gorgeous Deborah Shelton, who is definitely on my Google. I hate the catchy dialogue for the most part. No, but it's supposed to be. That's the thing. Tarantino, much in the way when you watch certain films that, like say you watch like a Argento film or a Bava film, and the colors are bright and bled and hey, thanks, 70. Blowout is still your favorite. Blowout is amazing. The cover for Criterion's edition of Blowout is heartbreaking when you actually realize what. Oh, Brian, welcome. The way, you know, Blowout. This is his life. He's the sound guy. He's the guy that's doing that's on there doing the that's getting all the sound effects for films. The ending of Blowout is heartbreaking, and the Criterion edition of Blowout is extremely heartbreaking on the cover, because you see him and he's sitting in a chair and it's an outward shot, and we see all these sounds like his room's been wrecked, and all this stuff has been destroyed. This is his life. This is what he does. That's like me coming down here and shooting a picture, and somebody coming in and like just ripping out like taking my movies and just like crunching them, like literally my like my lifeblood down here. When I look at that's what's genius, in my opinion, about the cover, and why it's one of my favorite covers of any Criterion release. You see his wrecked life on the cover of that Criterion release, and if you've never seen the film, you're not going to get that until you watch it. It's not going to give anything away, but when you go back and you watch the film again, and when you look at the cover, for me, and you feel it, and I did. I felt it when I watched it. Blowout was one that I saw very early on. Body Double was one of my favorites. Specifically, Snake Eyes. Snake Eyes is underrated, man. Snake Eyes is one of those that a lot of people gave crap to in the day, and they did. And it's like, I'm trying to get the word out there now, but Snake Eyes never got like. There's a few Brian De Palma films that kind of just got like got skipped over. Early stuff, oh, it's good. Snake Eyes is actually extremely good, and it's one of those movies that kind of sticks to me. What about Antonio's Blow Up, which is visual rather than audio? It's different. It's great. I mean, I love David Hemming. He does an amazing job, and you know, Antonio it's a very different film. I mean, you can definitely, there's comparisons between the two films, but there's a uniqueness of The Untouchable. I love The Untouchable. I know The Untouchables doesn't get like, I love it. And that sequence with Sean Connery in the bar, you know, talking to Kevin Costner, telling him, you know, the Chicago way. Everybody remembers that. That's a scene. If you've seen The Untouchables, if you've ever heard that, it's been seen so much. I actually watched a thing tonight on GQ YouTube where they talked about where Nicolas Cage breaks down his iconic role. It's kind of like an ongoing like segment that they have, and it's actually really interesting to do. Am I planning your Halloween viewing? I kind of am. I do have like some things thought up, but I don't have everything planned. I had the Indicator stuff that's coming out, but for me, that's coming out in like early November as opposed to late October. It's from the UK. Now, of course, Indicator are putting out the William Castle set at Columbia Volume 1. There's going to be a second volume of that coming out. It's rumored, heavily rumored, that they're working really hard to get the Ghost Viewer from 13 Ghosts put into that set for everybody. I do recommend picking up that set. It's a really good one. And Night of the Demon as well. It's got 4 versions of Night of the Demon. It's a fantastic film, and if you've never seen Jacques Tourneau's Night of the Demon, you really need to do that as soon as the set comes out. Don't see it before. Wait, see it, experience it. It's one that you really got to. Drilling of the Castle set. See, the Castle set is amazing, and the fact that they're doing another one just so excites me. Now here in North America, here in Canada, we've got like Mill Creek, which is like a company that puts out like kind of like lower budget editions of things, and over the years have become up to like to do like a lot of big TV shows like Miami Vice and all that stuff. Now they put out like editions of like some of the Hammer stuff that came out from Indicator, and but Indicator put out like the Ultimate editions, and they put out like some William Castle stuff as well. And I had like a couple friends of mine that said like, you know, I don't need the William Castle set. I've got the Mill Creek editions, and I'm like, Okay, but I really like Grim Castle. I want the best possible. Indicator does amazing stuff. So hopefully you guys, Stephanie, Brian, hopefully I'll be able to listen to you guys talk about this stuff on Just the Disc podcast. Love to do that, by the way. Love to listen to you guys talk about it because I have a blast with that. There's the doc. Is it on Shudder right now? I haven't seen it yet. I haven't checked it out. I know that there was one recently put out by Diabolic magazine. Kat Ellinger. Yeah, Mill Creek puts up some good, kind of have it until you get like the good edition. And I'll still keep my Mill Creek stuff. We talk Indicator. There's very possible talk Indicator soon. Oh, I'm so for that. I'm so there for that. I'm a huge Indicator fan. As you guys, if you've been watching, Stephanie can tell you, I've got all the hammers and all the Ray Harryhausen's from Indicator. I actually started over at my last house. Kat Ellinger is amazing. Anything that she's in, I like to listen to. I definitely, that's why when I'm kind of interested in this. I know Diabolic magazine. Hey, Michael, how's it going? Diabolic put it out, and if Kat has definitely has some stuff to do with it, I'm definitely there. I've had some issues with some of the people behind some of the Hammer stuff that were. I love Hammer, but some of the experts like to deride it a lot more than they do like to talk about some of the stuff. I like Scars of Dracula. I'm putting it right out there, and I like Thor Frankenstein, and because of that, I became a pariah on certain Hammer sites. I'm not going to lie there. They really didn't like me, and some so-called Hammer aficionados really took offense to the fact that I dared like movies that they had put down. But I find that hilarious. You like the Harryhausen? I loved Harryhausen. I think I told you that on a former stream. Oh yeah, Harryhausen's like one of those guys that I adored. My better half, she's from Morocco, and she grew up watching the Harryhausen stuff, the Sinbad stuff too. Well, I'm here over in North America watching the exact same stuff. So it really crosses the divide. Just the fantasy, it just takes you away and it puts you into a different world. Harryhausen's just the thing that it's just so. CGI can never beat for me Ray Harryhausen's just in that time, the stop motion animation that he did, the amazing work that he put into it, the characters that even some of the creatures that are fighting, and I think it was in it was in the last Sinbad one. There's this creature that I did not want to see get, and I see near the end of it, Sinbad in the Eye of the Tiger. Is that what it is? Eye of the Tiger. It's something like that. I can't remember the name right now. It's the last Sinbad film, but there's this little creature in it, and he really started to become like a character in his own right, and he gets killed, and I felt it. I mean, I did, and I'm like, here I am, I'm in my 40s, and I'm watching a Sinbad movie, and I'm feeling sad because this creature, exactly, transcends language, culture. He is fantasy to me. Harryhausen is when I think of fantasy, you get Tolkien, and you get C.S. Lewis, and you get all that. But for me, I guess maybe as a cinephile, above and beyond all of that, Harryhausen is fantasy to me. He literally, from my childhood to my adulthood, all the way through, he brought his world into into my viewing, and he made it come to life. I believed it. I felt it. Yeah, I know. And I would like to see. I don't know. It's like I like to say I like to see more of that, but of Harryhausen and the style. But it almost seems like that is encapsulated. That is in its own space, and time, and you can't. I don't think you can be how far into my 40s? Too far. Too far. We'll go with that. We'll stick with that, James. Yeah. Never ask a YouTuber his age, because he'll tell you and then he'll sit back and just cry for a little bit. Just cry, just a little bit. But no, I'll do a Harryhausen type retrospective on here. I am slowly going through, like, rewatching a lot of the Harryhausen stuff. Won't watch any horror until October. You'll be 40 next week? Well, happy early birthday, James. You know I'm going to say happy birthday to you on Facebook as well. Because that's who I am. And probably on also on Twitter. So yeah, as long as I'm not working it today and crying. My better half's birthday is actually in 3 days. She's, well, 2 days, no, 3 days. Yep, she's the 25th. Is September 25th is my better half's birthday. That's her birthday, and I've already got it. She already had. See, she was going to be out of town. She's sneaky. She was going to be out of town, but she yeah, the over 40 crew. She was going to be out of town, but then it got changed around. So she has all her presents now. Libra's on it. Yeah, she has all her presents now. So I gave her Apple Watch. I gave her, like, all her clothes. She had a big clothes shopping spree. So I guess a cake. A cake is going to be what I'm doing, and I don't know, being kind of romantic stuff. So we have, like, a big over 40 crew. We have, like, usually have a couple people on here that are younger. Like, there's like a I'm an Aries, guys. March 31st is my birthday, and I'm like I'm the leader of the astrological symbols. Oh, yeah. I cannot forget her birthday. That's like, I might as well just go and decide, like, oh, I'll sleep outside, and that'll work. No. But man, we swerved all over. We went from De Palma to Hitchcock to De Palma. We talked about Tarantino, and we went all around and back again. And all this while talking about Texas Chainsaw Massacre. So, oh man, I don't agree, Carlos. I think, I don't know if I'm not the person that's reading my horoscope on a daily basis, but I do share a lot of the things that they do say work with my astrological sign, and I am an Aries. I am Aaron, which is Hebrew for mountain, by the way, which is not at all the reason that my parents named me that. I am named Aaron for one, like, specific reason. My dad, who was a musician, was a huge fan of Elvis Presley, and thank God I'm not named Elvis, but Aaron. So yeah, Elvis. So ever wondered why? I always used to think, hey, it's the first name in the baby book. Maybe my parents were tired. Maybe that was it. But no, apparently it's because of Elvis Aaron Presley. I have zero musical talent. I'm not like my dad that way. I can't sing. I cannot stay on key. Don't play instruments. 976 Evil. What about part 2? What about part 2? So I went to see this. You're named after Stevie Nicks, and I remember why. Stephanie Crawford's. I love Stevie Nicks. They make you paranoid because you think. See, there's the thing. A lot of times, you read something that you think is going to happen. Did I get a chance to watch The Man Who Haunted Himself? Not yet, because my better half will not let me watch it without her, because she's a huge Roger Moore fan. And so that is going to be during the Halloween month. That's one that we can watch together. See, I watch a lot of horror stuff that she can't watch. The Man Who Haunted Himself is something we can watch together. And I'm kind of looking forward to that. So I'll be talking about the movie, but it will be during the month of October because we want to watch it together. So we got it placed upstairs still to... I'm kind of excited about it, actually, because I don't remember it. And that's always a good thing. When I find a movie that I don't remember, it super stokes me. Stevie Nicks, oh man, you're so lucky. I had a huge crush on, I have a crush on so many people. I had a huge crush on Stevie Nicks. That's why it was so cool when I'm watching, like, Coven. On the fence about The Man Who Haunted Himself, should probably get it. Worth a blind buy. I haven't watched it, Brian. I would say yes. It does look really cool. It has it's a DVD Blu-ray, and some of those kind of cool, like, the thin cases, which I do really enjoy. that comes out a lot from that company. Really? See, Stevie Nicks is, well, I'm a big fan of Fleetwood Mac. And Rumors, to me, is much like Billy Joel's Glass Houses, is a near perfect album. It's probably close to, if not, like every song, you know, I like every song. Film noir series from Flickr Alley. Oh, I need some of that stuff. I'm a huge film noir fan. I'm doing an episode on here soon, and I keep talking about it on film noir. I'm doing an episode on film noir coming up, and I'll be doing an episode on the Wera films as well. Both are ones that like kind of things that I really like. But what I was saying for Coven, the third season of American Horror Story. I haven't watched any of the new season yet. I'm not sure. I usually watch them all. Got Woman on the Run and Too Late for Tears. Ooh, Woman on the Run, didn't that come out with, didn't Arrow put out Woman on the Run as well, like Arrow Academy? The definitely Rumors. It's a great album, and it works well together. It's I wouldn't consider it like a concept album like some, but it's it's, you know, it's a great release. Do you have the Woman on the Run from Arrow Academy? I need more. I mean, like, thanks to Murdersville here, I've upped my game on some of the film noir releases. Some great stuff from Murdersville. If you guys never saw that video, definitely check it out. I unboxed a really nice package and some stuff I'm very excited about. Got the man who cheated himself. Lee J. Cobb, I don't remember though. Lady Gaga's in American Horror Story. I've only seen the first season. She's in like Hotel, which is not the best season. Oh, Ann Sheridan. I really like Ann Sheridan. Like she comes in, and Lady Gaga comes in, like kind of Jessica Lange had to leave American Horror Story to do like a show called Feuds, which is also being done by the producer of American Horror Story, and do some other stuff as well. She was kind of taking a break from it, and I don't know if she's come back or not, but I know that they brought in Lady Gaga, and they did Hotel, and Hotel it's mixed. It's got some interesting moments, and it's got some that kind of drag, and it's got some stories that should have been fleshed out more, while other ones should have been like. But watch it, get your own opinion on it. Me myself, it's not my favorite season. Still a saw. Man who hung himself, the man who cheated himself. Oh, the man who hung himself. Definitely check it out. It's Roger Moore actually. My streams are always all over the place. I think that's becoming a thing for me. I'll be honest with you. It used to bother me that I was like, okay, I've got this topic. This is my topic. This is what I'm going to do. To the point where I said maybe I'm going to make like a video, and then I'll do a stream portion of it. Oh yeah, afterwards. But I kind of think that the twisty turny, it's like, you know, Family Circus. There's you're talking about going all over the place. You know, Family Circus, and you'd get that cartoon. They'd always like the normal ones, and then there'd be the Family Circus cartoon where he said, "Oh, I just, you know," and there'd be this map, and he'd been like going all around, going all over these places, and getting there. I haven't seen Mandy yet, but I do want to see it. Actually, I love Beyond the Black Rainbow, so Mandy should be a blast to watch as well. It'll be definitely a mental, kind of like a crazes type film that I like. Nicolas Cage. I think that people rag on Nicolas Cage a lot, but he's actually a much better actor, but a much crazier actor, and it works for him. I like Nicolas Cage's stuff. I know his favorite film that he ever made is Vampire's Kiss, and you can see that because he uses that stuff in like other films. My favorite Bond. My better half's favorite Bond is actually Roger Moore as well. She also loves The Saint. So a lot of people grew up with like I think Roger Moore's Bond. Now some people like my dad is like Connery is his Bond. but Moore. Some people didn't like the fact that Moore wasn't hard edged enough. That was the biggest complaint when it came to Moore's Bond. It wasn't hard edged. It wasn't as hard as Bond was. But there's one sequence in For Your Eyes Only Yeah, it's the thing. With great director, Cage is amazing with. Where he kicks this guy off of in a car off of a cliff, and it really bothered him more to do that, to do do that cold of a sequence with his Bond. His Bond is very different than Sean Connery's, and he made it his own. He did a fantastic job. I'm a huge Moore fan. So I'm really excited to watch The Man Who Hanged Himself, and that's like one of my October releases. So that is one of my Halloween watches during October, is going to be The Man Who Hanged Himself. So expect me to talk on that one as well. Mandy is like, I've heard like nothing but glowing reviews about Mandy, and I got to mirror Brian's comment basically in the fact that yes, when Nicolas Cage has the right director to put him in the right direction, he definitely like does his best work. Here's a guy that he can go, much like me, he can go all over the place, and he needs that guiding hand to like draw him back in. Maybe I do. Maybe I do as well. Maybe I can be the Nicolas Cage of YouTube, much in the way that Nicolas Cage is the what is it again? The California Kinski. Yeah, check it out. That's the way Nicolas Cage likes to think of himself, as like the California Kinski. But yeah, I would definitely be the Cage of YouTube. He commits, he does, and that's the thing. Mom and Dad is such fun. I know everybody didn't like it, but I thought it was fun. I thought he did good. I thought Selma Blair did good in it. It's like a yo-yo that needs a yo-yo master. I still need that master. The Cage of YouTube, that's it. That's what I'll do. Like this. Did I see Cage and Laura? I've seen pretty much everything Nicolas Cage has done, like from Valley Girl on, like on up. I am a big fan of Nicolas Cage. A lot of people rag on Nicolas Cage. You talk about stuff he did. You talk about The Wicker Man, you know. You talk about the bees and all that. Not the bees, but I've always been a huge fan. So Mandy, and to hear that he's getting such rave reviews from Mandy is like, it's been really. Oh, no, it's joking but true, James. Like it's not like something that I don't take it as a bad thing, but it is so true. His performance in Joe was excellent as well. And hey there, Kenneth. So to slowly get back to what I was talking about before, and I hate to sometimes, because where I start and the journey that it ends up at, that's the fun of this for me. That's why this is live. That's why I have you guys here to bring me all over the map, much like in Family Circus. I kind of like that. Face Off was a really big thing for him, because he took, if you've watched Vampire's Kiss, and I suggest double featuring. Watch Vampire's Kiss first, and then watch Face Off afterwards, because Cage takes from his performance in Vampire's Kiss, and he uses it, he utilizes it within Face Off, and he utilizes it very well throughout the film, specifically during the opening sequences when he's wearing the kind of like the priest, the Monsignor type of robe. That's very much like Vampire's Kiss. Yeah, Vampire's Kiss, Face Off. Brian, trust me, watch it as a double feature. I know it seems like a weird, totally a double feature, but just look at his performance in Vampire's Kiss when he's running down the road. You know, I'm a vampire, and watches the opening sequence of him in Face Off when he's completely off the wall. Vampire's Kiss, your Face Off. I would love that movie, but definitely, somebody do it. Somebody get Vampire's Kiss, get Face Off, watch the double feature, come back to me, comment in the comment section down below. Tell me what you think. Tell me if you think I'm right in the fact that those performances are very much intertwined. I love the documentary on Superman, by the way. It was strongly. It's hard to tell. Vampire's Kiss is a weird film, bro, James. So it's like, it's one of those movies that I love his performance in it. It's a strange film. At times I've liked it, and at times I've been kind of meh. But overall, I really love Nicolas Cage's performance in Vampire's Kiss. I love the way that it was done. and the over the just the way that it is, that like frenetic, insane, just hyper role, that like work that he did with Vampire's Kiss, definitely was in Face Off, and you'll see it come through. Oh shit, Peggy Sue Got Married. Sleep Soundly at Night. Is that one coming out on Shout Select? That one I was unaware of. I remember Peggy Sue Got Married. This has become to a Cage-a-thon, hasn't it? This is kind of cool. I started off on Friday the 13th in Texas Chainsaw Massacre and how people should support their local drive-ins, and we came to Nick Cage. But I'm a huge fan of Peggy Sue Got Married. I think it's underrated. And I think his is just dreaming me out loud. His is the best performance in that entire film, and I'm not sure if Kathleen Turner was a really big fan of his performance. You're ashamed to say, like the first. Everybody has a guilty pleasures, and you know what? Here's the one good thing you can take out of the fact that he did that Cage did Ghost Rider, is that you have a guy that loves the medium making the movie, and you don't always get that. You get a lot of like movies, especially when you talk about like comic movies are so big now. There's so many of them that come out, and some are fantastic, but you can tell that the actors they're acting, they're doing their thing, right? But it's a check. It's never just a check for Cage, and for Ghost Rider especially. Nicolas Cage's last name it's Coppola, but it's Cage because of Luke Cage. Honeymoon in Vegas. Oh yeah, fantastic film, by the way. So seeing a guy that loves comic books, make a comic book movie. Hey Michael, how's it going this evening? I kind of dig it for that. Is it perfect? No, it's not a perfect film. It's not a perfect Ghost Rider film. I still love his Ghost Rider much, much better than I do the Ghost Rider that showed up in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Just putting that out there. But, obviously it's a different medium. But I enjoyed it. And as for the sequel, did you guys like the sequel to Ghost Rider? See, Cage was fine. Some people wanted a younger actor to play Ghost Rider. I thought Cage was fine as Johnny Blaze. I thought he did a good job in the role. I think that the flaws in the film, Sam Elliott is obviously really is an actor that I always can depend on. The villains, not so much. They're okay, but I think Ghost Rider needed a script to match of the leads. Cage is who Cage is. He need a better script and a better director. I don't think he has. What do I think his worst performance is? To be totally honest with you, I don't think Cage. Like a lot of people will shout out like things like they'll come and say things like The Wicker Man, or they'll like pick one of like the kind of like those mediocre like type of films that Cage did, where it seemed like more of like kind of a walkthrough type thing. Ooh. Deborah Form is on my Google Docs, Stephanie. I love the drive-in, Tim. I am a huge fan. If you've got a drive-in near you, please, support your drive-in. I got to watch the original Friday the 13th in 1981 tonight in a drive-in theater. It was incredible. I thought I was going to get to see the 1974 Texas Chainsaw Massacre, and it turned out that they didn't get it, and they got the Michael Bay, Marcus Nespa one instead. But still had fun with it. Still want to see this one in the drive-in. This is my my Texas Chainsaw set that I got, and the drive-in food is amazing. I got to say, they do such a great job there. Such great fries. My chauffeur, Deborah Foreman. That's one of the like the slip covers that I'm really like stoked that I actually managed to get. Oh yeah, it does though. It is really cool that they get to do some retro screenings, and I like to see them do more. They're showing the new Halloween movie at the drive-in. They showed like a couple trailers of films that they're showing tonight. We've got like Smallfoot, I think, coming, like for it's a good one for the kids. Looks kind of funny actually. Starting to come back. Now They also showed like Venom that's going to be coming at the drive-in, and they also showed Halloween, the new Halloween film. What would be the perfect drive-in movie to watch at a drive-in? Texas Chainsaw Massacre is actually one of the perfect movies to watch at a drive-in. Program it at your drive-in now, even though I can't see it. Oh, if I was to do like a, oh, maybe I do a drive. I did like a drive-in type of like movies episode actually, but certain movies like just lend themselves to it. Texas Chainsaw lends himself to a drive-in like experience. I eat what's it called? I eat your skin, right? That's very much as a very much of a drive-in experience. I think early Cronenberg, Shivers and Rabid, would make a really good drive-in double feature. That's not cranberry sauce. I love that movie. It's not usually, it's not a lot of the big like the bigger movies but it's some of the smaller films, some more the grindhousey stuff. A lot of the stuff you catch in Vinegar Syndrome, like movies like the Hearse, things like a lot of the Norman Warren stuff, Driving Massacre, of course, would be would definitely be like great driving experiences. When you're thinking driving, think of like more cheesy, think more grindhouse stuff. Eat Your Skin, aha ha, Eat Your Skin. That's the one I'm talking about. Oh, and Drink Your Blood. Drink Your Blood is not as. I think Drink Your Blood is one that's like the word driving double feature back in the day. One is much better than the other. I'm not going to lie to you there. But one of them stands out. You'll see Drive-In at the drive-in. Oh, that's a nice one. So I was 10 years old. See, last time they do our drive-in there. I think they do a mix, but I've mostly seen like the modern, like digital projection type thing. I would love to see the old school, like 35 millimeter. I like when what was it called? When we spoke about Tarantino earlier, when the last Tarantino film came out, The Hateful Eight, which I did enjoy because I'm a huge fan of like movies like The Great Silence and of course, oh God. Then they did like a kind of like a huge, like a kind of one of that, which is really good. There's a new genre, movies which feature a drive-in. Ooh, movies that feature a drive-in. I've never even thought about that. But yeah, somebody mentioned Driving Massacre, and that's a movie that I really like. And I'll be honest with you, when I got it, I didn't remember it hardly at all. I'd seen it like years upon years ago. But I liked Hateful Eight. I think he did a really good job. Now, Targets. Oh, that's you like Stephanie wins. Because Targets is perfect, and it's got Boris Karloff, and it got him in a role that Peter Bogdanovich said I'm glad that later on in his career, Karloff got Bogdanovich should not disown Targets. He should be proud of Targets. They did a great job with that film, and Karloff got to have like a more. You got to have a role. You got to have a role befitting Karloff, in my opinion, for later years. Like he did so much stuff, and like so much of the Targets does rule, and he did so much, like he did like what's it, like Snake People and like some of the lower budget stuff that a lot of the older actors, as they get like into the waning part of the career, that they have to do. But it is so nice to see that Karloff got to do a movie like Targets. It is so nice to see that Christopher Lee got to come back and do a lot of stuff. Last Picture Show is a special one for me. That's where I discovered Sybil Shepherd at. And she's on the Google Doc. I got a huge doc of like, yeah, I do. One of these days, that'll be an episode, the Google Doc episode. And if you're new to this, then there's an ongoing joke about all the female actresses that I have fallen in love with over the years. And I said, like, you could write a Google Doc over it. And somebody suggested doing that. So I think somebody actually has one, which has to be huge by now. But it's a favorite of mine. Of course, it was put up by Criterion. They did like the American Lost and Found set, which I do recommend. I don't have that one yet, actually, in my collection. Plan 9 would be amazing at the drive-in. Little like side story here is that a while back, a few years back, a good friend of mine actually asked me to come in for Halloween to their university and program a Halloween double feature for them. Something fun and cheesy, and something that would get like college students actually into watch, because they're all going to be going out, and parties. So I put together Plan 9 from Outer Space and the Rocky Horror Picture Show as a double feature for that for the university, and we got like a huge turnout. It was really fun. We got like a bunch of people. People, of course, came dressed up as characters from Rocky Horror Picture Show. They had a blast. Some people weren't aware of Ed Wood, and I found him through that through there. So I was able to like talk to people like in between the films and afterwards. It was a blast, Stephanie. It really was. And just like mention like some more like Ed Wood stuff to them for some people that had watched the Rocky Horror Picture Show. It may seem like a strange combination, but Tim, I'm always putting together double features in my head. And I think that one's really good. Like somebody asked earlier on Facebook, said, what's a really good werewolf movie to watch? I said, if you wanted to double feature like a werewolf, two werewolf films together, that I think would be amazing as a double feature, see if you guys want to get this. Okay, so put together, oh my God, Silver Bullet with Late Phases. The perfect werewolf double feature of that type. Just think about it for a second. You got Silver Bullet and Late Phases, and the movies do really complement each other, especially in the tone and storyline that they take. I'm always putting together like kind of weird double features, so just try it out though. Plan 9, it's like one of these ultimate like cheesy, like fun Ed Wood like movies. And when it comes to like Rocky Horror Picture Show, it's a love letter to the earlier stuff, and too much of the stuff like the Richard Bryan would say, "Rabbit on a Drink Your Blood." Ooh, a double dose of people with rabies. Or you could go in a different way and go in a vampirism aspect with it. But yeah, so we played both movies. Some people weren't aware of Ed Wood. I talked a bit about Ed Wood after the before, and and I took some questions after the first film, and I talked also about the Rocky Horror Picture Show, and I talked about shock treatment, and which is a favorite of mine. But a lot of people were not aware that shock treatment even existed back then. Something that I championed. A lot of people don't like shock treatment. I'm a huge fan of of Jessica Harper of Suspiria and shock treatment. She does a great Janet. She's got an amazing voice, and of course, one of my favorite films, Phantom of the Paradise. Oh, thank you, Tim. I know that there's people that are going to love shock treatment. It's a great one, and it's got like "Bitch in the Kitchen," which is a fantastic song. Duo Duet is oh man, I love Jessica Harper. You like shock treatment more? Oh, Brian, you're now one of my new favorite people. Me here. What's my opinion on watching foreign films at the drive-in? I love subtitles. I prefer subtitles over. I prefer subtitles to dubbing, unless it's really cool, cheesy like kung fu films. Then I really like the subtitles. Then I really like the dubbing. But no, yeah, Shock Treatment is a great film. And Cliff DeYoung is incredible in Shock Treatment. Even if you like Rocky Horror Picture Show more, Cliff DeYoung, okay, I'm going to say it, he's a better Brad. There's more to him. Jessica Harper can... Susan Sarandon does good for what she has to do. Oh yeah, Cliff DeYoung has been a favorite of mine. He's one of those actors that I followed over the years, much like Michael Moriarty. Just two actors, and I do kind of lump them together in in the style that they do, and that both are very underrated and underappreciated. But Cliff DeYoung in that movie playing the dual role, and you can tell that when he's playing like Brad's evil twin, that he's really drawing from Jack Nicholson. And it's so, but he does it so well. He does his own version of Jack to play this twisted character. Yeah, and the fact that he does the duet with himself And I'm gonna like be completely honest. You don't know how much time. Really? No formal training. But how many times I've sang the pretty much the entire soundtrack to Shock Treatment in my own home, where people cannot hear me and have their ears hurting. Especially do a duet, big time. And Shock Treatment, because Little Nell, of course, who's also in Rocky Horror Picture Show, who I definitely loved. She just did an amazing, like, her opening, like when she comes in Rocky Horror Picture Show, is incredible. And when in Shock Treatment, when she's like on the cage, and she's singing during that song. Inserts. Oh, I got to get that one. Did Inserts? Who put out Inserts? Because that's anything Harper is I'm into, and I haven't seen Inserts in years. So Arrow? Was it Arrow? I kind of feel like it's Arrow, but maybe it's not. Anyway, that's one I have to see. Twilight Time. Oh, harder for me to get, but I'll grab it. Next time Twilight Time has a sale or something like that, I'll pick it up. Twilight Time is harder for us to get here in Canada, but it's one that it's one that when they have sales every once in a while, I've started to grab them. It always bothers me that their website, that the website that they do it on, like Screen Archives, here in Canada, anytime I order stuff from them, like it can be like a small order, like or like 3 or 4 movies, and this huge box, this huge red box comes up. It's like, you should, do you want to pay $30 more for extra shipping? And I'm like, no, I don't want to pay $30. I'll roll the dice, Screen Archives. The stuff gets to me every other time, but I get so paranoid every time because this huge red box comes up. And every time that I order with my better half, I swear it's like she's never seen it before, because every time the box comes, she says, I'm not sure. It's a little sketchy with that big red box. That's why I don't have more Twilight Times in my collection, guys, to be completely honest with you. So I had planned to talk Texas Chainsaw. I had planned to talk Friday the 13th. I think this went even better than that. But at 87 minutes with my voice going, guys, I have had a blast. We've gone down this family circus style road to get where we are right now. Sweet 16 is one I love. I think there's like a version of it on Amazon Prime. So I don't want to watch it because I really want to own it. Yeah, the Twilight Time business model. They stopped doing horror as well, by the way. That kind of bothers me. But I do love every Twilight Time one that I got. And much like Code Red, sometimes it baffles me in the way that the business is done. But at the end of the day, I do my best to support all these companies. And with that, guys, I do, because I have to work in the morning. And thank you guys so much for watching. It's been a blast. Again, thank you all for coming in. For James and Tim, Stephanie, Brian, thank you so much. I really enjoy Just a Disc. If you don't watch it, guys, listen to it. Listen to it. It's a fantastic podcast. If you haven't listened to it yet, just go back. You will be hooked. I'm definitely hooked. And get stuff. Oh, if stuff ends up like if you listen to stuff and it gets on your podcast, then it's honestly, guys, you really are like an inspiration for when it comes, to me. I listen to your stuff all the time, and it's it's a blast. And guys, really, seriously, 100%, listen to it. It's fantastic stuff. My voice is going. James, have a great evening there, and everybody, love y'all. Thanks for coming into the movie club, the movie cage with your friend, I'm seriously a fan. You're Brian, Stephanie, you have a fan of the Nicolas Cage of YouTube. And there you go. Thanks for watching, guys. Have a great evening, and I will see you here next time in the movie library.